Jack bought a new boat for £12,500. The value V of Jack's boat at the end of n years is given by the formula V equals 12,500 multiplied by 0.85 to the power of n. At the end of how many years was the value of Jack's boat first less than 50% of the value of the boat when it was new? So if we want to work out after how many years the value of Jack's boat was first less than 50%, then we'll need to work out what 50% of the original price was. So we can do this by dividing 12,500 by 2. And this gives us an answer of £6,250. So what we want to work out is for what value of n this equation will be less than 6,250. So to do this we can use trial and error, and we can start substituting in values for n. So when n equals 1, V will be equal to 12,500 multiplied by 0.85 to the power of 1. And this tells us that V is equal to 10,625. Now 10,625 is not less than 6,250, so we can move on to when n equals 2. So when n equals 2, V will be equal to 12,500 multiplied by 0.85 squared. And this gives us a value of £9,031.25. Now this is also not less than 6,250. So we can move on to when n equals 3. So when n equals 3, V equals 12,500 multiplied by 0.85 to the power of 3. And this gives us a value of £7,676.56, which is also not less than 6,250, but we can see we're getting closer to the value now. So when n equals 4, V will be equal to 12,500 multiplied by 0.85 to the power of 4, and this gives us that V is equal to £6,525.08. However, this is still not below 6,250. So if we substitute in n equals 5, V will be equal to 12,500 multiplied by 0.85 to the power of 5. And this gives us that V is equal to £5,546.32. Now as we can see, the value is now less than £6,250. And if n is equal to the years, then this means that the year that the value of Jack's boat first went less than 50% would be at the end of year 5. So this is our final answer. Now this question's worth 2 marks. We'll get 1 mark for substituting any value of n into the formula given above, and our second mark for the correct answer. A savings account pays interest at a rate of R% per year. Jack invests £5,500 in the account for 1 year. At the end of the year, Jack pays tax on the interest at a rate of 40%. After paying tax, he gets £79.20. Work out the value of R. So the first thing we're going to want to do for this question is work out the amount of interest Jack earns before he pays tax. So Jack pays tax on his interest at a rate of 40%, and after interest he gets £79.20. So if Jack is paying his tax at a rate of 40%, then this means he'll be getting 60% of his total interest. So this means that £79.20 is equal to 60% of his total interest. So in order to work out his original interest, we'll need to work out what 100% of £79.20 is. So we can do this by working out 1% and then multiplying this by 100. So in order to get from 60 to 1, we divide by 60, and then in order to get from 1 to 100, we multiply by 100. So we can do the same calculation to the left-hand side of this equation. So we'll want to divide £79.20 by 60 and then multiply it by 100. And this gives us a value of £132. Now in Jack's account, he invested £5,500 and he earned £132 of interest from this £5,500. So we can form an equation from this information and we can write that 5,500 multiplied by R equals £132. And now we're going to want to rearrange this equation to make R the subject. And we can do this by dividing both sides by 5,500. So 5,500 multiplied by R divided by 5,500 gives us R. And then 132 divided by 5,500 gives us 0.024. And now the final thing we need to remember to do is to convert this from a decimal to a percentage, because this value of R is the multiplier which we'd use for the percentage. So we can do 0.024 multiplied by 100 to work out the percentage. And this tells us that his saving account pays at an interest rate of 2.4%. And this is our final answer. Now this question's worth 3 marks. We'll get our first mark for working out the amount of interest Jack earned before tax. We'll get our second mark for starting a process to work out the value of R, and our third mark for the correct answer.